Okay. Welcome to Lost Connections. I'm your host, Gabriel, along with...
Hi, I'm Peyton, and we have our guest here today.
Hello, I'm Chiara Puglielli.
And we are going to be talking about her installation and involvement in Connectfest.
Yep.
Yes. So first, I like, before we talk about that, I'd like to ask you about your school life a little bit. What made you choose St. Patrick's in grade 9?
To be totally honest, my brother was already here, and I was sick of my elementary school, so I went here. But turns out that was like the best decision of my life so far. Even though my life is only like 17 years so far, almost 18 years. But yeah, I came here because I was like, this is a cool arts tech school, and my brother's here, so that's pretty cool. That rhymes. And yeah, this is just a really cool school. I've had a lot of fun.
Speaking of greatest decisions of your life, well, like we sort of know what you're referring to. So I would like to bring up, you've been involved in a lot of plays and a lot of productions within our school. So if you wanted to talk about a few of them and just let the audience know what you've done.
Yeah, so in grade 9, I went up, this was Treasure Island, actually. This was 2019 year. And I thought I was going to do set design, but if anybody knows Jessica Sanchez, she was like, yo, I know that your brother does tech. You probably have a technological mind as well. I don't. Don't ever put me in front of a computer. Do you want to run the lights? And I was like, sure. So that was kind of the start of me being involved in theater. I started backstage. And then in grade 10, we were doing the first NTS, participation in that festival. And I was going to do strictly the tech stuff. I was probably going to be the stage manager. But then Miss Reedy was like, hey, you can write a little bit. And I was like, okay. And then I wrote it with Miss Reedy. It just kind of unfolded from there. And yeah, that was just kind of the start of how I got into kind of just all the little bits of theater. I acted in that play. Kayleen was our wonderful stage manager, Kayleen Bautista. She was really good. And yeah, that was just, and then during COVID, we did a little 2 short skits that were about old people on Zoom. And that was just for fun to get people back in the kind of rhythm of writing and performing again. And then obviously this year, Jay Malloy's Dead was the biggest one.
Can I just say that I really enjoyed the old people Zooms?
Thank you so much.
Because literally, I've had Zooms with like my grandma, because you know she lives in America, so I can't see her. I couldn't see her, and it was very similar. It was just a lot of like helping her figure it out, for sure. Yeah.
So, can you please tell us like what you're doing for Connectfest and kind of elaborate a bit more on like everything that you're planning on?
So what I'm doing for Connectfest is an art installation because I'm part of Miss Mustacato's grade 12 art course. It's a little bit of a big concept. I don't say that to inflate my ego. I say that just because it took a while for even me to comprehend what I was thinking. But basically what it's literally going to be is a giant sculpture of a magazine. It'll have like those, it won't actually be able to turn the pages and see other pages, but you'll see the outer 2, like the cover pages and 2 of the inner pages. Basically what's going to be on it is it's going to be a magazine of like life in a nuclear shelter or whatever. Like you'll have fashionable gas masks on there, fashionable radios to make your bomb shelter look really nice. And on the cover, it'll be like a really idealistic version of like an American bomb shelter or whatever. Like with carpets and comfy couches and radios and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, it's a representation of how, even though we do live in a democracy, we don't often have that much choice in terms of how we participate in war, especially. Like NATO was instated decades ago, like a very long time ago. No one in, I guess, who's not extremely elderly at this point had any say in what was going on in the military at that point in time. But if any of the NATO countries have soldiers that make any contact with Russian soldiers, we're going to war. That's just what's going to happen. So the choice will not be whether or not we should wear gas masks, but what color would you like it in? Because that's all we get to choose when democracy is overridden by external choices.
For sure.
That's really deep. I really enjoy that. I really like how you kind of touched on the fact that we don't have a choice in the end. Like we never really do. And I think that's really admirable that you want to portray that. I really enjoy that. No problem.
For sure. And I really like the concept with your installation, because like, you know, this is our first time hearing it. So there was like, even for us, there was no time to like prompt on what we would be talking about, because we weren't sure what yours was. We just heard, like, I heard that Chiara's coming up with one and it's really good, and that's all I had to hear. Because I
told you that?
I can't remember actually, but it was someone from your class.
Hey, okay.
And I was just like
Say thank you.
I've seen the plays, so I'm really excited for the installation, and now that I know what it is, I'm extra excited. So yeah, I just think the concept's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I actually have a question. So I really liked your topic. I think it's super, like, I think the nuance to it is beautiful, and I'm excited to see where it goes. What kind of inspired you to do, like, other than the entire thing where we don't have a choice, what was kind of your motivation to get into the political side of art?
Well, I've always kind of been in the political side of art from when I'm doing from when I've been doing art in Miss Mustacato's class. Well, it's politics and often identity as well, which I find kind of goes hand in hand usually. But for this project specifically, I kind of thought about all the ways that we were just kind of robbed of choices these past 2 years, and how this is kind of the culmination of it, the Ukrainian war. And this is not to say that choice is always good. I think that there's two different kinds of freedoms within society. There's individual freedom and there's social freedom. And it's sort of yin and yang, where they cannot overlap. One has to have less in order for the other to have more. And I think, but in this case, when we already agreed to be a democratic country, we should have a say in huge decisions like going to war, because we will have to send our troops, we'll have to send the people who we love, and if it ever gets so dire, God forbid, we might have to end up getting people from the draft, which is never good usually.
Yeah, no, it's
a
not.
huge override of freedom. So I just wanted a way to represent how we as a society tend to, I guess, deal with it within ourselves, and oftentimes that's through consumerism. Like you'll often see in times of really dire situations in terms of our personal choice or our political participation, people just turn to just little tiny ways to control their life, and that's what color would you like your gas mask in? You know.
True. Yeah, and I really like that point. Like, that's something that I think about all the time. Like, I'm not very political myself. Like, I feel like in terms of those sort of topics, I'm sort of a dunce when it comes to that kind of stuff. But something that I do think about a lot is the concept of like choice, and how we can't really say that everyone has complete free will, just because if we did, then a lot of people would be dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If I had complete free will, many people would be punched.
Yes, that's what. Yeah, just like even yeah, like
Okay.
yeah. Before we talk about that, like even that, like it's just like, if violence, if there was no consequence to violence, because everyone has a choice, there would be a lot more fighting, and I think that you're right in terms of like there's freedom to a certain extent, and we shouldn't cross that line really. But you're also right in the fact that we should be able to make decisions on what wars we take part in, especially because it's not just the government going to war. It's the people that the government governs that are going to war.
I guess in terms of like crossing that line, I don't even see where the line is. I think about it a lot, obviously, because I'm making a whole art piece off of it, and I don't even know where that line is currently. Because I am against war. Usually, I'm a pacifist, but like even just emotionally, I feel for the people of Ukraine. Like I have this family friend who thought about taking some of the Ukrainian people in, but then realized like they are going through intense emotional trauma. It is so hard to even deal with that as a person taking them in. Like, are they emotionally ready to take someone like that? And I think if I were to let my emotions drive my political views completely, I would say go to war and help the people of Ukraine, because we do have the resources for it, and it is dangerous. But in my rational mind, I know that it is far too dangerous.
Oh, for
We
sure.
have a lot of really powerful
Individuals?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
like even just the topic itself is like really emotional because had you guys hear about the kid on our board? I think he's grade 11.
Oh, was it?
See,
the
that's
kid
the
went to
pro-
O'Connor
yeah,
or
see,
something,
that's
right?
the thing. I don't even know his name. And when I heard that he had to go home to fight, as like someone that's my age, I
It's
cried.
horrifying.
Like I cried. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I got really emotional about it. I was just like, yeah, I don't even know this kid's name, and he has to do that.
Yeah. It's really scary. And as people in a society that has existed for a while without such intense war, it's hard to visualize the reality of it. And like I don't even claim to visualize it myself. All I know is our side of it, and our side of it is quite sheltered, I guess. in a
For
way.
sure.
Yeah, that's really wow.
Yeah. Wow. Wow's the word.
It's a lot.
No,
It's a
no,
lot.
it's okay. That's what like if your installation is meant to hit that, then it is already hitting that. Like even just talking about it.
Yeah.
And something I'd like to say in light of the conversation, this brings us to our segment, making connections.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, I know.
Word associations
Gabe.
requires me to think. Oof.
Okay, so we have 15 seconds on the clock. We're basically gonna throw words at you, and you're just gonna say the first thing that pops to your mind.
You got it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Pin, you're gonna go first.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to speak.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Okay. So, politics.
Trump.
Nice.
Oh.
Trump.
Politics.
Nice. Tower.
Twin Towers.
Art installation.
Magazine.
Oh, magazine.
Consumerism.
St. Pat's.
Fun.
Headlines.
Newspapers.
Music.
Guitars.
Keurig.
Coffee.
Nice. And for the people at home, we have a Keurig in this room.
I was about to say Jesus, but then I was like, no.
Should I bring the
Weird.
Keurig to the front so people can see it, or should we just leave it back there?
yes. Yo, Curtis, close up
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
the Jesus thing might be confusing. There's also a microwave beside the Keurig that has a Jesus
Just big-
sticker on it.
yes.
That's pretty cool.
Here's our almighty Keurig. Here it is. Okay.
Whoa,
That's our next
that water
special
looks
guest.
old.
Oh, that water's definitely been there for you. Oh, there's definitely dust in there.
Hey, this.
Yes.
I really think the topic that you brought into like emotions and politics and the relation between it is super interesting because me personally, I do consider myself a political person. I consider myself someone who likes hearing different political opinions. And I really think, contrary to what you believe, but really interesting, your different point of view is that I think you can't really have politics without emotions. I think a lot
absolutely.
of...
I agree.
I think the entire basis is in order to make decisions, there is some sort of emotional process within it. And I think you can kind of see that through your exhibit with the consumerism because emotions relate to everything. We can't simply function as humans without emotions. So I feel like what you said was really interesting. And I can't wait for your exhibit. It's going to be so fun.
Hopefully, I'll get it done within the time frame. It's Connectfest is approaching very, very soon.
No, you will get it done.
Thank you. I will take that
Affirmative.
affirmation.
You will get it done.
What do they call that? Manifesting it?
Oh, I'm not
Manifesting it.
manifesting anything. You're getting it
Yeah.
done.
Okay. I will get
It has to happen.
It's happening.
It has to happen.
But to your point about like politics and emotion, I think politics without emotion is just programming robots.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a computer.
But if you don't take emotions into account of politics, you're not making politics for humans. It's just not. It won't work in the actual world. And it's a good and a bad thing. Emotions in politics. I think it can drive people to do some very bad things, but it also can drive people to do some really good things, and like all the people in Poland and all the other surrounding countries are taking in the Ukrainian people. Like they feel for them, and they're doing it out of a sense of love, I guess. So there's hope there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hope.
That was a very topical episode.
Oh yeah.
Tropically topical.
Yeah, are you gonna stand by that?
Tropically topical.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Okay, well, anyways, I think that about wraps us up. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you. This was very fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the outro again?
Oh, what's the outro? Don't lose connection.
Peace.